All right, just a couple other details, some other new things. Again, I said there wouldn't be a quiz, and I won't test you on this, but through working on Corvette, I've learned some stuff about geography. I had never heard of, I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, Vanuatu, but it is a place that it does exist, and here it is. You can see it just off the coast of Australia. And you're wondering, why am I bringing up Vanuatu? And it's because you can buy a Corvette in Vanuatu. And, I never had any idea. And it just shows the global reach that this car has. We're all so proud to take really America's sports car and let the world kind of experience it as well. And obviously the C8's given us that ability. So obviously a lot of global markets. This is not an inclusive list by any means, but obviously we sell in Europe, Great Britain, a number of different areas, and obviously a lot of different emissions requirements through the world. And obviously there are some changes we have to make. And one thing I did want to explain is just, okay, what do we need to do to a Corvette to sell it in some of these markets? So there is some differences in hardware. Let me walk you through this as well. So what I have here is this is the non-export exhaust system. You guys saw this a little different view a few minutes ago, but you can see kind of past the catalyst, some valves and muffler system. And for export, what we have to do to meet some of the additional standards for cleanliness is to add an additional filter. We call these GPFs, or gas particulate filters, and they actually, in a lot of ways, are exactly what it sounds like. They filter out some of the particles that are natural byproducts, especially during cold operation. You get really fine particles that are natural byproducts of some of the carbon, and they collect in these filters and make sure that it's clean. Now you may wonder, okay, well, where do all those particles go? Well, here's a little bit of an explanation. So these are all made of really a highly porous, it's a corderite, I'm not even sure I'm saying the word right, but anyway, it's a very porous system, and it's a tortured path that the exhaust system has to take. You can see this diagram, it flows in this channel, and then it's deadheaded at the end to make sure it can't just pass all the way through. That forces the exhaust to go through the walls of this substrate, and little particles attach to basically what's a sponge in here, and that cleans up the exhaust. Now those particles sit there, and really when we're forming these is during more low temperature driving. If you're kind of cruising around town, really light throttle, maybe you're developing some of these particles, but they don't last long. And then after you're done with that, if you do any spirited driving, when you get these to temperature, they burn away, and obviously without any increased emissions. So it basically just gives us the opportunity to burn them off when it obviously won't have an influence in the overall environment at all. But one question. I'll show that actually in just 1 minute. Bear with me. So obviously these particles, if they are not burned up, say a customer never does spirited driving, which is, I think, slightly criminal, then we do have some features that will burn them off for you. So obviously we make sure to always take care of the customer. So you don't need to know how to drive it. We'll basically fill in the blanks for you. Okay, your question on, does that add back pressure? Well, of course it does. And obviously for Europe, there's other changes in the way that we have to demonstrate the performance. And those all add up into obviously differences in what we're able to kind of rate the Corvette, both for North America and for Europe. So for those that want to brag, obviously your North American Corvette is slightly faster than your friends overseas, so you can enjoy that. But overall, you can see the reduction. This is LT2 to LT2. I don't have LT1, but basically North America is the red, and then the yellow power is what we have for these export markets, with peak values of 475 horsepower and 452 pound-feet of torque, so about a 20 horsepower reduction. And largely that's driven by the slight increase in back pressure, and again, just some of the differences in regulations as